Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel and day 2 of Vlogmas, where I'm spending the next 12 days counting down to Christmas, sharing just things in my life as well as creativity, crafts, art, all revolving around winter holiday themes. So today I'm sharing one of my favorite things to do during the holidays, and that is make my own handmade gift wrap. Specifically messy gift wrap. So this is something I have been doing, I think, since I was a little kid. I used gift wrapping as a way to personalize all kinds of gifts, specifically handmade gifts. So because I'm an artist, because I love making stuff, and making stuff is actually the way that I show my love, I tend to spend a lot of time making handmade gifts or art that I can give to family and friends each holiday season. And I cannot help myself when it comes to the wrapping. So while there's a lot of really amazing wrapping paper out there, there's actually a lot of really affordable wrapping paper. I really enjoy making my own. I'm actually going to put some links in my description to my blog where you can see some of my favorite gift wrap tutorials that I've made over the years. But today we're focusing just on creating messy wrapping, only because I think it's a really fast, fun way to get messy and expressive. It's also a fun way to incorporate your kids, especially little kids, where you can get messy. There's permission to get paint on your hands, get really expressive on that paper, and have something that ends up looking quite unique and interesting. It's just a fun way to personalize gifts. Creating my own gift wrap is something that I love utilizing when I'm wanting to put a little extra love or creativity into a gift. And while I know not everybody out there is going to enjoy the messy quality of this paper, I have a feeling there's some of you out there that might really enjoy this process and the outcome. So if you love using your art, if you love using that paint, this is a fun one that you can utilize to create some really fast, interesting, colorful, unique gift wrap. Okay, so we are going to start with some kind of roll of paper. I always have butcher paper on hand. I also always have brown paper on hand. I have smaller versions of butcher paper, so just sheets of it. I also really enjoy getting the rolls of brown paper from Home Depot, Lowe's, from home improvement stores that you often use to cover the ground when you're painting. So something to protect your floors or cabinets if you're doing work in the home. It's often a thinner version of brown paper, and it's some of my favorite material for creating handmade gift wrap. If you enjoy recycling, upcycling gift wrap any time of the year, I'm one of those people that I often save all of the gift wrap that I can hang on to during the holidays, during birthdays. And you can also use that and actually paint right over the top of it or use the back of it for creating that handmade gift wrap. Again, today we are focusing more on like a messy and expressive version of gift wrap. So you could actually treat recycled wrapping paper as your creative surface and paint right over the top of it. I found that it's very sturdy and it handles paint really well. So I like to start this process by rolling out my butcher paper, a large piece of it, or cutting off larger chunks, larger squares that I can then work on over a span of a day or two. Now I like to treat this process much like I treat my painting process or my art journaling process. I'm using my surfaces as a creative space to get really messy and expressive with that color. And my goal for this wrapping paper is to integrate anywhere from 3 to 5 different elements. And those elements for me are often using a brayer to apply that paint, using messy brush strokes, maybe a palette knife or a scrap piece of cardboard to swipe color. I am looking at building layers in a really interesting and expressive way. I'm not thinking about things being perfect. In fact, the messier, the better. And for these pieces of wrapping paper, I went with the typical red and green color theme. It's not my favorite color theme for wrapping, but I thought I would stick to something traditional so you all could see what this looks like when applied to something really expressive. The fun thing about creating your own gift wrap is that you can really pick any colors. I often go with non-traditional colors during the holidays. I will pick colors that maybe my recipients really enjoy or colors that coordinate with the theme of the gift. You can really get creative with the different colors that you choose for this process. Now I'm continuing to add more elements, and after that surface has dried, I will go back in and add something like dots. I am using a little foam brush in the shape of a circle. I also really enjoy using a scrap cup where I can dip it in my paint and use it as a circular stamp. Those of you out there who are my longtime students know I love incorporating circles into my messy and expressive surfaces. It's just a fun way to create some visual contrast between all those brush strokes or those brayer swipes and have something circular, just a different shape happening within that surface. And you can begin layering up those elements, everything from more brush strokes to maybe more circular elements. You can get creative and add a stamp within that surface. I love grabbing unique brushes and things that I can swipe across my surface to create interesting marks or strokes of color. Really, the sky is the limit. I even will raid our kitchen and find utensils that I can drag, drip, roll all over the surface of this expressive gift wrap. My only goal is to create something that looks and feels like it's got some layers. And the trick for me is always thinking about contrast. So if I have darker color, darker elements happening, if I want to layer over the top, I'm always going to pick something lighter. If I have lighter elements or lighter areas of space, I'm going to go back into that space with something darker. My favorite way to finish off this simple, messy, expressive wrap is by going in with actually smaller elements or something different, a different tool or material. So far, we have a lot of expression, a lot of painty color, a lot of mess happening. And I love using dots, marks, dashes as a way to go back in and add a little bit of detail. Again, these surfaces that I'm sharing with you are definitely expressive, even abstract. I'm not looking to create designs or drawings over the top of this surface. While you certainly could, I'm leaning into mark making, really loose and expressive shapes and color instead of feeling like I need to create something that looks recognizable. I'm really wanting this wrapping paper to feel like abstract, unique little paintings that you can then wrap your gifts with. So my last step for all of these surfaces is to go back in and add those tinier details. I'm using a Posca paint pen to just add dots and dashes here and there. And what you're going to notice is I don't cover the entire surface in dots. For starters, it would just take me too much time, but I really enjoy kind of sprinkling them around the entire surface, looking for unique areas that I can sprinkle in my dots or my marks. And you're going to notice within this process, I am concentrating on contrast again. So if I've got darker brush strokes happening or darker brayer marks, I'm going to go over that area with my white pen. If I've got some pockets and corners and nooks and crannies of lighter color or even white showing through, I'm going to go back in with my black pen for those marks. And this is just another way to keep contrast in mind and to create a lot of visual interest in a really messy surface that has a lot going on. My goal in creating a more messy style of wrapping paper is once again to create something that looks like your present is wrapped in some sort of a painting. And again, I really enjoy using my favorite painting techniques. These are all techniques you will see me use in the background of an art journal page or the beginning of a canvas painting. I really enjoy using mixed media concepts, techniques, playing around with different mark making tools to create a really colorful, busy, expressive surface. I love that these creative concepts, these mixed media techniques and painting techniques can easily be applied to surfaces that can be transformed into that gift wrap. What I actually love so much about these surfaces is they don't often need a lot of tags or bows to go with them. While I will maybe wrap something with a unique bow here and there, I think they are fun standalone on their own. Often I will spend a couple of days making some unique paper, seeing how much I can come up with. I'll let it dry, and then I'll use it the same way that I use any kind of store-bought paper. I store it rolled up, and when I'm ready to wrap, I pull it out and use it just like regular wrapping paper. I actually have a handful of gifts that need to be wrapped for my daughter's friends, and so I'm going to take a little time in this video to wrap them up just so y'all can see what this paper looks like once you put it to use. All right, there we have it, my friends, a stack of wrapped gifts all ready for my daughter's two best friends to give to them. I am actually hoping that this process inspires you to think about that gift wrapping in a really creative way, maybe even use it as a way to just carve out some time to get expressive and messy. This time of year can be so incredibly hectic. It can be stressful. What I really love incorporating into little pockets of time in my schedule is actually getting expressive. It's a great way to just kind of wind down, to let go of perfection, and create some sort of gift wrap that is messy and incorporates some painting techniques is just a fun way to have these little moments of getting creative without any pressure. So tomorrow I want to encourage you to tune in because I'm going to be sharing with you what I do with all these little scraps and cutaways from my gift wrap, both store-bought gift wrap as well as handmade gift wrap. I've got a fun idea that I'm hoping will inspire you to hang on to any scraps that you have during the holidays. I want to thank you all for joining me for another Vlogmas video, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow.